Yeah, it is.
They can go off.
Denny Schaefer. He's an idiot.
Okay, so this could be the most awesome thing we've ever done, or it could be just a giant waste of everybody's time. It's one or the other. Could be awesome, could be El Saco. So let me just fill in on how this all came to be. Sharon and I were, let's say, discussing the day's events, and of course, today being championship weekend, final 2 games of the season, and then one more to go, so it's kind of bittersweet. We thought, hey, what can we do to, for the podcast tomorrow? Or actually, we're doing one on Monday. Sharon's like, hey, why don't you do this? Invite some people over and talk about the games. And we said, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So I texted Steve, that guy Kiker right here, representing the Packers. I texted Chuck Herman, who's a huge Steeler fan. We got Meredith Party Rental Rob, the Bengals fan, and Jimmy Schock. He's a Lions fan and Michigan fan. Anyway, and these guys, they all. Oh, yeah, I guess you are a Browns fan.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You might be better off saying you're a Lions fan.
As long as you don't bring a Ravens fan.
You aren't a
We're
Lions.
okay with that.
That's right. I forgot about that. You
obviously not a very good one if you don't have any clothes. That's okay.
Well, he's got.
I've had a hard time being the Browns fan the last couple years with Deshaun Watson and what has transpired there.
Burned all of
it.
Yeah, pretty much when they made that trade and signed him to $240 million contract. Yeah, I burned everything I had.
That's right.
I'm to the Browns.
I'm the lone Lions fan. Yeah, that's right. You're a Browns fan. And well, now that you brought that up, and just get that out of the way. I forgot to have a picture for the Browns. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen, and then you react. No, that's a different picture.
Got it.
So this kind
of Michigan gear.
There you go. So this let's see. This kind of represents the season started out so well, but this is how it ended. Of course, getting their butts handed to them. That was it's just ugly, which is why I'm rooting for Washington today. More on that coming up. And then, of course, that's after the game when he cried, and he wasn't the only Lions fan crying.
Why are you rooting for Washington? Because you're second place if they win it all?
Right.
Oh, I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, you
One
want
of those guys.
Plus, well, I'll get into more of that. Then we got the Bengals.
That's Tony the Tiger. He's actually up for NFL Fan of the Year this year.
Is he really?
And he is. The charitable work that he and Bengal Jim and some of the guys do at the tailgates down there is incredible. They raise a lot of money at their tailgate parties for underprivileged kids. He buys the money they use buys tickets for underprivileged kids in Cincinnati to go to Bengals games every year.
That is awesome.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Good man, Tony.
Okay, in one word, describe your season this year.
Underachieving.
Okay, underachieving. High hopes for next year.
Always.
Okay.
Then the season starts.
Now we go to our next picture. Oh, what do we got here?
There we go.
What does that picture say to you?
He needs to stop eating.
I think he ate Aaron Rodgers' career.
Yeah.
Now, is that when they were playing Denver?
Yeah, it
looks like it. Yeah.
Because I don't remember him playing Denver, but
Must be at
anyway.
Denver.
So he looks kind of sad.
All that orange behind him is the sun. It looks like he's blocking it out.
We were robbed. It was bad officiating mostly our whole season. We need to get new officials in there to correctly, let the Packers win.
See.
Kind of like they do with Mahomes. Call penalties on the other team that we could win. Your Detroit loss was just like Green Bay loss. 4 turnovers and so did Detroit. I don't know what they were thinking, but
they weren't thinking. And I think part of the problem is I'm wondering how much of a distraction it was with everybody saying that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are going to they're interviewing for jobs all week and this and that. I'm thinking that's got to be a little distracting to the team thinking, our coaches may not be here.
Yeah.
Their mind's somewhere else. So
I heard
there you
something.
go.
I heard
Why
something
does he
to the
look like-
effect that
Wow, that's hurtful, Sharon.
Goff,
Jared Goff.
had food poisoning the night before the game against Washington.
That's why.
Was
Do over.
Was it the
We
same
should get
guys?
a do over.
Was it the same guys that bought Michael Jordan all those pizzas in the NBA Finals? that one
Yeah, was it Portland or whoever it
Yeah.
was when they beat them? All right, so our women are giving us grief on the comments. Sharon says, "Why does he look like Steve Kiker?" Okay, honey, that's not very nice.
Wow.
And it's Sunday, the Lord's Day. All right, there you go, Steelers fan.
Oh boy,
Shock.
is he crying?
He is crying.
Yeah,
Well, it's a gift, but there was tears. But
it was tears. Our season was really just kind of. It's hard to say same as it ever was for 19 years, which is great, 19 straight winning seasons. But
Yeah.
we're good enough to get in, but we're not good enough to win in the playoffs. I'm talking about, and so that's been the struggle. I think a lot of franchises would love to have 19 straight winning seasons and have a coach like him, but us Steeler fans, we're questioning it right now. We don't. The only problem is who would you get to
Yeah,
replace him?
okay,
you
first
know?
off, you don't get rid of Tomlin.
Yeah.
He's arguably one of the best coaches in the
I
NFL.
agree with that. I'm with you.
Name one other coach who hasn't had a losing season in all those years. Well, you're not going to find any.
I agree with that. That's my take, but I'm saying as a Steeler general, that's
Right.
what I hear mostly about Steeler fans is they want to. I said I don't want to get rid of him either. I think because he is great, but then again, we want to win. You know,
Right.
6 rings. That's been a while since we had another ring, and our quarterback issue was probably our biggest thing this year.
All right, Wayne, Inside Out Wayne is up saying Steelers need a new coach. No, they don't. You know what they need? They need consistent quarterback play.
Yeah, that was our thing.
That was the biggest distraction. You got to have the right quarterback. Ever since Big Ben. I mean, listen, you get the quarterback straightened out, you know the defense is going to show up. They've
Defense,
got weapons.
TJ.
I think the Steelers are going to be fine. Nobody predicted them to do what they did. And so I'm pretty confident that next year the Steelers will be fine.
If we get a quarterback, who's that going to be? It's going to be Russ. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been watching Hard Knocks
yeah.
for the AFC North. As a Bengals fan, I would run through a wall for Mike Tomlin.
I'm
He is-
with you on that.
Listening to him talk and motivate his team is just it. Both him and the Lions, those two coaches break the mold because they're hard to find.
Hey,
Yeah.
we had 3 coaches in what 50 years?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
You're doing
How many
okay.
That's pretty amazing.
You're
that's
not going to
pretty-
get a lot of
yeah.
sympathy from me about your coaching carousel.
Yeah, I agree. That, but as a Steeler fan, that's probably what they're looking. They're trying to find a scapegoat.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it's Tomlin either.
Laura says Fields should be the starter. Wilson not good. Okay. The only thing is they won with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And
well,
Fields
at the beginning,
had his chance. Fields had his chance. Listen,
wasn't
I
bad.
like
He was-
Fields because he's younger, he's fast, he's a dual threat. Is he the future? Probably.
I think they should have used him more when in the goal line situations or
Right.
3rd and short. They didn't put him in.
Right.
He would have been perfect for that. But
Right.
I'm not the coach. But that's just what I saw.
All right, now I'm going to put a picture up. You guys comment. Here we go. What do you make of this one?
Accurate.
Yeah. The bubble boy.
I've never been one to blame referees, but come on. Even when
Yeah.
other retired NFL players are going, okay, that's a little excessive.
And he gets up
You
and
know.
he smiles like, yeah, that's Adam again.
But
very-
don't leave it in the referee's hands. Play your game. Execute.
You can put him in there. He substitutes for Tom Brady, right? Wasn't it Tom Brady? Now it's him.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Exactly.
It's reminiscent of Tom Brady. It was
Yeah.
like you couldn't hurt the golden boy. I mean, they changed the rules when Brady was the quarterback. The whole tackle by the knees or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a Brady rule because and
The
then
tuck rule?
the tuck rule
Tuck
is another
rule.
Brady rule.
Mhm.
I just think quarterbacks, if you're going to get out in space and run, you better make it darn sure and obvious that you're going to slide. If you're doing that fake crap, there shouldn't be any penalties.
Right.
Yeah.
If you just kind of fake it to get an extra 5 or 10 yards and somebody knocks you, senseless, then that's on you.
They were interviewing, I think it was Nick Saban the other day was talking, and he said this is not a defensive friendly league anymore
No.
at all. And he said it's got to change. It's got to have some parity or the game's just going to get out of control.
Well, you see some of the defenders running next to him, afraid to tackle him, which is what amazes me. 5 yards, and they're afraid to grab him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, we'll see what happens today. All right, speaking of today, we got the first game, 3:00. It's the Fox game. You got Philadelphia hosting Washington. I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm rooting for Washington only because they smoked my Lions. Of course, all those turnovers, even though Mikey Sanistro, former Michigan DB, got 2 of them. That still hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for them. They're fun to watch.
Can they both lose?
No. One has to represent the Super Bowl.
Then I'm going with Terry. Go Bills.
Okay, well, we're not to that game yet. All right, so
you're way ahead of them.
I'm reading what Terry White
That head on too
said.
tight. It doesn't fit.
Okay,
very well.
so yeah. So thoughts on the first game. Jim, we'll start with you.
Well, being a Cleveland fan, the Indians, the Browns, I got to root for Washington. They're the underdog.
The Washington no names.
The Washington Redskins. That's right. Always be the Redskins. Always will be the Indians. Yeah. Let's get this political correctness shit out of it.
There you go.
It's a game.
Agreed.
Yeah, they should have just left all the names alone, but whatever. So you like in a close game, what do you think?
I like Daniels as a quarterback.
He's unbelievable.
He throws a great pass. He's very accurate, and he doesn't seem to really get rattled. He's not afraid to pull the ball in and take off.
Yeah, he's like a veteran.
So I'm really impressed with what he did this year.
Yeah, I am too, but I'm tired of all the announcers. Look at him. Look at him sitting on the bench. Look how cool he is. He's just sitting there. Nothing bothers him. It's like he's resting. He's just taking a break. What do you want him to do? Be throwing up his arms and freaking out? It was like I'm over that. But for what he's done as a rookie on the big stage is pretty unbelievable. So close game.
I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay.
I don't see Washington piling up a bunch of points against Philadelphia, and I don't see Philadelphia scoring a bunch of.
Well,
so I think it's going to be a 21-18 game.
close. Okay. 21-18.
21-18. That could be scoregami.
What's the spread?
6 points,
Yeah,
I
I think
believe.
it's 6.5. Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah.
I believe it was 6 points when I looked at it earlier. Philly giving up 6. Yeah. In the second game, KC 1.5. All right. Your thoughts on the Washington game? Philly.
I think it's time for the Jaden Daniels experiment to be over. He's a good quarterback. He's going to have a good future in the NFL, but Saquon Barkley is going to go off today. And I'm looking for a 34-27 Eagles victory.
So you think it's still going to be relatively close?
Relatively close, but it's going to be the Saquon Barkley show today. He's due. He's had it rough in New York. He found his groove in Philadelphia. He's, in my eyes, he's the NFL MVP. And Joe Burrow is a finalist, and I still say it should go to Saquon just based off his rushing. He's a selfless player based on that last game when he could have gone in. Even though he said he wanted to, he knew it was the right thing to rest and let the team do their thing. He's a selfless player.
Is that when he had a touchdown, he just laid down? He broke one off?
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
Who?
Saquon, that last game.
In the last game of the season.
I thought you were talking about the playoff game when he went off for 205.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Break.
Or was it Herschel Walker's record?
No.
Eric Dickerson's record.
Dickerson's
record.
And opted not to for the betterment of the team. So
see, that's why they're in the position they're in.
Team over me. So I look for like I said, it's going to be a close one, but I'm taking the Eagles.
All right. I don't. It's hard to predict a score because if Washington comes out and plays the way they did against Detroit, I think Washington do quite well. I think they can pile up the points. If I had to pick a score, I'm going to say 38-31 Washington. But if they don't stop Barkley, they ain't beating them. I don't care. If you don't stop the run, they're not going to win. So I'll say 38-31. Steve, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I hope Philadelphia loses just because they beat the Packers. Therefore, I hate them.
You're a true fan. You're a true fan, not like the Browns fan.
I might be a little bit. Yeah. I'll buy you a shirt. But I'd like to see them both lose, but of course they can't. I have to root for Washington, and I think they'll beat them. It depends on how much Philadelphia turns over the ball. If they do, then they're going to win by quite a bit. But I'm picking Washington.
All right, Jalen Hurts supposedly is not at 100%. Are we believing that?
No.
You don't think you think he's at 100%?
He's wearing a knee brace today, but he's fine.
Fine. All right, Chuck, your thoughts on the first game?
Well, I lived in Northeast PA for the last 25 years, just moved back this area. So I'm pretty familiar with all these Eagle fans and Penn State people and all that. So one thing I'm going to tell you is Barkley had a great year. I would agree with it, Rob. I think he should be the MVP guy right with, the two quarterbacks that are – he had a solid – how often do you rush for 2,000 yards, right? And he's carried that team. Hurts hasn't had a great year, and the Eagles are playing well. I don't want him to win, though. I'm rooting for Washington. Just for the underdog part of it, just because being a Steeler fan and being around those Eagle fans, they're kind of annoying. But I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to put some rattle on Daniels. He's going to throw some picks. I predict a pick 6 for the Eagles. Knock that one up there on your little parlay. And I'm going to say 31-13 Eagles.
Whoever has the most fumbles or interceptions is going to.
Yeah, turnovers are going to be big. And so
you think Washington's only going to score 13 points?
I think that he's going to get rattled. I'm rooting for him, but
if he
like you said, this fairy tale
sound like it.
But if he didn't get rattled,
I am, but I'm just thinking football sense.
If he didn't get rattled in Detroit, as loud as that environment is, I don't see how he's going to get rattled in Philly.
But they didn't put pressure on him too much, did they? The Lions?
Well, that's true. They did not. And listen. All right, Packer Chuck is chiming in the comments. Oh, where are the Lions? The same place the Packers are. Watching it from home, dude.
Yeah, Chuck.
But a week later.
Yeah, exactly. We had an extra week before we. Anyway,
that NFC game is, for me. It doesn't matter who wins. I'll be happy with the outcome. They're both. I saw the Eagles play in person in Cincinnati. Seeing Saquon just slice and dice and get through that. He's something to watch. You've got to see him live to understand how fast that guy is.
Giants fans were sad to see him go.
Why, if you're watching it on TV, he's slower?
You can appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's different when it's live. All right, second game, 6:30 kick. This one's on, the first game's on Fox. This one's on CBS. Buffalo giving up getting a point and a half against Kansas City. All right, let me go back around this way. Are you tired of Kansas City being where they are, or are you okay that they're going for a three-peat, Chuck?
I am. I'm going to vote for the tired of Kansas City because I want some fresh blood in there. Mahomes is getting protected by the bubble. I understand that, but he's a player. He is. But I like watching Josh Allen. I think he plays football like it's a background playground, schoolyard ball, pitching the ball back to somebody, running. He's having fun out there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and they haven't won. That's the other thing. The Bills have been a strong franchise, but they never won. So I think this is their year to break through. For Allen to have a big day, I'm pulling for him. I am tired of the Chiefs, but they've been squeaking by all year. That's what. But you know what? They're winning. And Andy Reid's pretty tough to compete with when he's got time to prepare for somebody, especially. So I think it's gonna be a really good game. What's the weather going to be like there? It's going to be cold everywhere. Cold in Philly.
What's the temperature in Kansas City right now?
That crowd's pretty bad too in Kansas City too. But
28 with a high of 35 today.
Ooh, that's good for Josh Allen. That's he's gonna,
wind gusts up to 6 miles an hour. That's not going to be a lot.
There might be some points there then.
But later on in the evening, when it 6:30 or stuff, it's the wind could pick up. Get colder. So all right. So you're saying what is it?
I think a shootout. I think Bills win 35-30, 35-31.
Okay.
Yeah, shootout.
That'd be fun. All right. Riker, are you tired of the Kansas City?
So tired of Kansas City. Actually, I'm not tired of Kansas City. I'm tired of Mahomes. with everything we talked about earlier, he gets so much preferential treatment that I don't like that at all. It's not fun.
No, I agree.
I understand the Bills have already been called for roughing the passer.
Yeah.
They
And
got
the
called the
coin
other day.
flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Automatic 15 yards.
Right.
So, but no, I'm tired of Kansas City, and I'm hoping the Bills go all the way.
So, score today.
I don't think it's going to be that high of a scoring game because I think it's going to be 27-24.
27-24. That's
Buffalo?
a pretty good game.
Buffalo.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 Bills.
I'm not really tired of the Kansas City thing. I like Reed, the coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
I love
solid.
him. You know, because he loves his food.
I want to see the punt, pass, and kick pitcher again. I love seeing it.
When he was in 8th grade and he weighs like
He's a
280.
giant. He's a that's
Andy
great. That's
Reid.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bring that out.
Yeah.
Maybe
His commercials are great too.
showing that and pictures of Taylor Swift. Anyway,
I thought we were gonna get through not mentioning her name, but I guess we.
So I mean, I like Andy Reid. I just do. He got hosed at Philly.
Yeah.
And I root for him. Patrick Mahomes he's unbelievable, and he may go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He may. I'm not tired of him.
How old is he? He's young.
But I'm not rooting for him. I'm rooting for Buffalo. Buffalo getting there 4 times. I mean, talk about being sick of a team as Buffalo would be in the Super Bowl like year after year. And it's like, no, I'm over these people. They're going to lose. I just think Josh Allen he's at a different level right now than he's been in his entire career. And
yeah, he has fun. You're right.
I just think that Kansas City has had a lot of luck this year. And won games they probably shouldn't have. And I think their luck runs out today. I'm saying 28-21 Buffalo.
All right.
That's my prediction. Rob?
I gotta, this hurts, but I gotta agree with you. I like good quarterback play. You can be tired of Mahomes. You can be tired of everything around him. The guy plays football and he plays it well. For him to make some of these sidearm throws and behind the back stuff, the guy's a good football player. I mean, and the Bills, they're 0-3 against the Chiefs in the postseason. They couldn't possibly go 0-4 against any team in the postseason, could they? Sorry. Too soon?
Hold on. let me give you a little there you go.
But they're not going to. I think it's going to be an overtime game. 23-20 Bills in overtime.
That would be awesome.
I like it. OT.
Yeah.
The Chiefs can't do much in overtime. And just remember, Chiefs fans, Mahomes is 1-3 versus the Bengals in the postseason.
Oh, you had to get that in there.
Wow.
Had to get
That's
that
a
in
stat
there.
man.
I'm sorry,
right
the month
there.
of January.
With some smugness. All right, Jimmy, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I like Josh Allen as a quarterback. Big Ben, and he can run.
Yeah.
Big, strong guy, and he can run. So I like him. I'm not entirely against Mahomes. I like Mahomes. I think he's a class act. But I am tired of Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Can't handle. I'm hoping not to see
what
her.
has she done to upset you? I show a couple pictures of her. Who cares? I don't get why everybody.
He's a Swiftie. Just
Yeah.
be honest. He went to her show
3 times.
You wore this outfit, right?
We were in the front
Yeah.
row.
Front row?
Yeah, every time.
Well, those weren't cheap seats.
I have nothing against her, but I'm just. It's football. It's not the Taylor Swift show. Have her sing the national anthem. I'm fine with that. I'm just tired of seeing her on the screen during the football game.
Well, the reason why they do it is the NFL knows that every time they put her on the screen, it excites the Swifties and it makes them watch football. Every
There's a
time
lot of
Kansas City's on, the ratings are up, and it's ratings means revenue. And yeah, I mean, like, who cares? But from a business standpoint, the NFL, that's why they're doing it, because they know the internet goes nuts. And it makes people turn on the TV. It's like, ooh, let's show her again. Are they going to show her again? And then more eyeballs come. They can charge higher ad revenue. all about the ratings.
You
All
know,
right, give me a score.
I think it's going to be like 28-24. A close game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Buffalo. Kansas City is not a high-scoring team. I think they are one of like 4 teams that do not have a game where they've scored more than 30 points. And they're the only winning team to do that. All the other teams that haven't scored 30 points in a game won 3 or 4 games the entire year. Kansas City, they've now won 16 games.
All their games
Yeah.
have been close.
Yeah, they have.
I was
so-
doing research before I got here. I did show prep, Denny.
Nice.
Nice.
More than I did.
I think it was the biggest margin of victory was the last game of the year when they started another
Denver.
redheaded quarterback, not named Andy Dalton, ruined my season. When they gave up 38 points to Denver, it was 38-0. Everything else was, I think it was 14 or 20 points or less that
Their defense is
won
pretty
by.
good.
So they're not putting up a lot of points. They're allowing a lot of points. So something to keep in mind with Kansas City and Buffalo, with, like you said, with Josh Allen, the way he runs, Cook, the way he runs. I'm not very confident in Kansas City's.
Sounds like we just jinxed Kansas City. I mean, the Bills, because we all took the Bills. So I guess the thing is,
well,
might as well take
You
KC.
better bet on KC.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we-
Take the points. My score, I don't think I gave it. What I would like it to happen, don't know if it's gonna.
there you go.
28-21 Buffalo. That's what I'm rooting for. I just want Buffalo in there. If Kansas City does get in and they win would it be their 3rd straight Super Bowl?
Third straight.
That's freaking unheard of.
Fourth
I mean,
in 6 years? 5? Yeah.
when's the last time somebody went back to back? New England?
New England.
New England did.
How long ago was that? I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So
Who would you take? Here's a question for you. We're talking about Josh Allen and Mahomes. You had to pick a team right now. What quarterback would you take out of those two?
I'd have to take Mahomes.
Yeah.
that's
All right.
I'd have to take Mahomes.
picture.
Rob, who would you take?
He's a proven winner, Patrick Mahomes. I hate
Yeah?
it.
Denny?
Yeah, I would have to go with Mahomes only because of his record, but talent-wise, I mean, they're close. I think they're close, but I would take Mahomes.
All right.
Are we betting or just saying?
You're starting a franchise. You would pick your quarterback. Which one would you take?
Freaking Mahomes.
Yeah.
Freaking
You hate to say that.
He's a proven winner. You can't argue with it. You
I
can't
mean-
dispute it.
Josh
And
Allen has
I-
won. He just hasn't won at all.
Right.
You know, he's doesn't have very much talent either around him right now.
That's
guess,
the
you know.
killer.
You know, and my wife, being a huge Packer fan as well as her dad, the last time anybody went a three-peat was the pre-Super Bowl era, and it was the Packers.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Packers.
Who?
No, it's not Super Bowl. It's
Wait,
the
say that again.
The team in that thriving metropolis of Green Bay.
they won the Shoe Bowl.
There it is.
They won the Shoe Bowl back
And
then.
I think we need to talk to Sharon because Supers to Lives says we all need cigars.
I
So
see that.
I think
Maybe
need to
when
talk
we
Sharon into it.
do the Super Bowl preview, we'll have to maybe move the equipment out to the catio.
There you go.
All right, let me check some of these texts. Inside Out Wayne, do you think the media talking about Mahomes and the bubble, that the refs will take a different approach today?
That could be.
I think so.
They
I
have
think,
to.
I mean, how many times, at least when it comes to officials, the NBA, when in playoffs, and the coach bangs after the game about how, they weren't calling it fair and there wasn't enough. And then the next night, they're getting calls that they weren't getting. It seems like when you call them out, there's more opportunity to say, well, I'm going to prove that guy wrong. I'm not going to call that, So I don't know. What do you think, Jim?
I don't think it's going to affect how the refs ref the game. I think they're all on the up and up, and they're going to call it how they see it. I don't see them being influenced by the media or what has been talked about. I think they're going to call their game.
The problem is sometimes they make these calls and everybody bitches about it and they know they made a bad call. And then later in the game, they'll do like a makeup call, like, well, this was kind of pass interference, but
Right.
it wasn't. we're going to call it to make up for that crappy call we made earlier. That's what also can destroy those makeup calls.
Yeah.
I refereed basketball for 25 years. And the best game you do, you're 50% correct at best. So how many times has the winning team complained about the referee?
Not many.
Yeah. So that tells you something right there. Yeah, I'm saying they're bogus calls as an outsider looking it in, but I agree with you that they're not. I don't think there's some inside scoop going on or anything like that, but they do need to protect the quarterbacks because that's what people pay to watch.
Well, the question is, and what do you think? Do you think it'll affect the refs?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
No,
I haven't seen ref officiating this bad since gambling became a big part of.
Yeah. There's an element of that.
Well,
And that's not a popular opinion. And all my friends are like, "You're a big fat-headed idiot. There's no way." Come on.
well, what was the game?
That safety?
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
killed those
yeah.
point spread last
Yeah.
week.
That wasn't referees
That
though.
was,
It,
no, that was the player.
it was
Yeah.
the player.
So that
there's-
seemed awful fishy.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
2.5 point spread, and they were up by 2, and all of a sudden,
and I'm not saying
That
it's
was
every officiating crew. These are men of integrity. They're in that position for a reason.
Mhm.
Right.
They're good at what they do. I could not do their job.
Mhm.
I've coached hockey. I've coached little league. Officials and umpires take so much grief, especially in the youth sports.
Yes.
The guys in the pros have thicker skin. They have to. But I really think that's something that needs to be looked at is after the season is how much does this affect the outcome?
I don't think they do it purposely, but everybody has a favorite. You have a favorite. I mean, everybody does. So if you see your favorite Mahomes out there, are you going to lean a little bit towards him? Maybe.
But don't you
Not
trust
saying, that they're purposely doing anything wrong. I
Right.
think just in their mind,
you have to trust the process. They go to make it to that level. They had to go through a lot of games,
Right.
a lot of
Mhm.
observations to get there. You would think.
Yeah, but when Mahomes and the ref are trading jerseys at the end of the game,
Yeah,
that's a bit.
That would be hilarious.
No, there-
Sign your ref jersey. I want it.
There's a picture.
Right,
out
but
there.
here's the question.
Yeah.
Is it possible that the NFL and Roger Goodell meets with the NFL referees and says, "Hey, we need you to call it tighter to protect him. You need to, is it possible that that's going on? Because that basically would be, I don't know, some kind of collusion or whatever to protect. I mean, yes, he's the franchise player, but
Well, he's the NFL player.
right, he is the
Period.
face of the NFL.
Yeah.
he's Tom Brady.
So yes, exactly. So maybe because when they lost Tom Brady to that leg injury, and he was out for the year, maybe the ratings were down or whatever. And is it possible the NFL is the question? Is it possible the NFL is talking to the ref saying, they sneeze on him, throw the flag? Is that even possible?
Yeah,
Sure, absolutely.
probably
It is,
more than possible.
but it's magnified because of who he is. Like he's in the spotlight, so it looks like it's more on him. But I think a lot of quarterbacks get those calls too.
The downside too is if he gets hurt, he's going to become a broadcaster. Brady.
Make more money, probably, right?
Well,
Brady
that'd
make more
be
money?
horrible. Can you imagine those two
I hope he gets.
broadcasting a game together?
What if he gets?
That
What if he
would
gets
be-
traded to the Packers? Would you like him then? Would
No,
you take him?
no.
Yes, he would have.
And a lot of these,
Are you kidding? I'll take love.
the other thing I think may come into it too, looking at the other side, not just the gambling side, is the CTE, the head injuries that a lot of these older NFL players, Webster from
Yep.
the Steelers,
yeah.
and these guys that have this CTE, and it's a killer, literally a killer for a lot of these older players.
It's
And
real.
they're taking steps. You've got the crowns now on the helmets and things like that. They're doing to protect the players. Is this just another way to protect the league itself from blowback to traumatic brain injury?
I would agree with that 100% because it's hard for us. We're mostly old school guys.
Right.
We like smash mouth football. We like, he got jacked up. That was a great thing to watch at Sports Center.
Right.
Seeing someone get hit. We like the collisions, but it's a different world we live in. The safety coming out, different equipment coming out, and lawsuits coming out, and it wasn't that way back in the day.
If Jack Tatum played football today, there would be a lot of dead quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're right about that.
All right. Let's see. Any more? Let's see. Rooting for Washington. They beat the Lions so convincingly, showing they should be able to handle the Eagles. All right. Thank you for that, Ron, and everybody that checked it out. Any parting thoughts? I mean, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, only because I'm going to sound boo-hoo. So I'll just throw this out here. we'll wrap it up. The Lions lost their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are now moved on, coaching the Bears, which is going to be really fun when the Lions play the Bears next year. And then I don't know if the Lions play the
The only
Jets.
reason he took that job so he could have January off.
Yeah, dude, that is funny. Anyway, here's the only thing I want to say about that. It really bothered me, and yes, because they had winning chemistry. I mean, it was a record-winning season, historical for the Lions, and I wanted them to stay together for loyalty. Just like let's you can get a coaching job in 2 or 3 years when you're really truly ready. Let's ride this out to see where it goes.
One more year,
or even 2. I really what? Okay, my producer Sharon, remind me. I got to talk about tomorrow. We're doing a podcast at noon, me and Sharon, and we're talking politics. Anyway, because she's a news junkie. Anyway, it bothers me that these guys are going after that now as opposed to riding this out, because the Lions are going to be better next year, because can't imagine
their defense is all going to be back together.
Right. I mean, 18 on IR, up to 22 at one point, an injured reserve.
Do the assistant coaches have contracts?
Can
they get?
They make millions. They just.
I'm saying, like, can they get trade? Are they allowed to force them to stay? I don't know how that works.
I don't think so.
I don't think trade head coaches away, but I don't know. They don't get fired.
I don't think
players can't just leave.
Coordinators. But here's the thing: just because you're a great coordinator does not mean you're going to be a great head coach.
True.
You could be really good in your lane as the OC or DC, but then when you're the guy in charge, there's so much more involved with that, because you got to you're in charge of everything.
Look what happened to McCarthy.
And in charge of motivating, 40 guys, or no, it's more than that now, whatever they have in the NFL. 56. I mean, there's no guarantee. And so it just saddens me. And I think it was a mistake for those guys to be interviewing the week of the divisional playoff.
Right.
I mean, that's just crap.
I didn't think they were allowed to do that.
I didn't think so either.
I thought until your season ended, you weren't allowed.
I think it might only be a head coach, but I don't think anything stops the coordinators.
Okay.
And you would think, I mean, I don't respect either of them for that matter, saying, I'm at work here. I can't take a job. I have a job, and we got a pretty important game or meeting, or, this is our whole season's on the line. I don't want to be distracted, because somebody wants to offer me, all this money, whatever. It'll be there in a week. I'll talk to you in a week.
On the bright side, you have a good head coach, though. The Lions guy is the real deal.
Well,
I played for that guy too.
You know what, though? It is true, though. If they're interviewing, they may not want their team. They may say, hey, I really don't want them to win. I'd rather make the $8 million I'm getting going to this. They don't care. So that's why, it's not just the players. It's
I think it's hurt. I just think it hurt motivation.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting thoughts, Chuck?
Hey, it was great to hang out with you people. Looks like it was a good time. You people, we use peoples. Yeah. These guys.
Green Bay got robbed. That's my parting.
Okay.
Bad officiating.
Jimmy?
Great hanging out with everybody. I agree. Thanks, Chuck. And let's root for the underdogs. Buffalo, Washington.
That's what I like.
It'd be good to see those two teams in the Super Bowl.
It would. Rubino?
Again, fun stuff. It's good that fans of different teams can get together and hang out and talk about the game we all love.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy because none of us really have a stake in the rest of it, a dog in the fight. So we're all sitting here as losers.
But speak for yourself, man. I'm a winner. I got Joe Burrow.
That's true. What was your record this year?
A winning record, 9-8.
Okay, that's true. No playoffs.
And Jamar Chase.
Playoffs.
All right, that's it. We're done. Share it if you care.
Peace.
If not, no big deal.
Green Bay.
Tomorrow noon, Denny and Sharon podcast. We're talking politics. We're going to talk about the Reverend. What's the heck's her name? Bishop Buddy. So we're going to talk about that and whatever else we come up with. So that'll be tomorrow at noon. So have a blessed day and enjoy your Sunday, everybody.
Yeah.
I